What is she doing in first class? Senator Rebecca Williams stares at the 12-year-old in the soot-stained hoodie like someone dumped garbage in seat 3. These street kids always find a way to slip past security. Flight attendant, her voice cuts through the cabin. Remove this girl now. Grace looks up from her book, steady despite the eyes boring into her. Ma'am, I have a ticket. I don't want to hear your excuses. The senator's laugh is cold, performative. Look at you. Filthy clothes, dirty hands. You probably stole that seat number off someone's boarding pass. She shifts her screaming infant to her other arm. People like you don't fly first class unless you've snuck in. The other passengers, suits and ties, pressed blazers, watch in silence. Their stares say everything. But then the screaming stops. The cabin goes quiet, too quiet. Senator Williams glances down. Her baby isn't sleeping. His mouth hangs open, gasping soundlessly. His face is turning violet. My baby, someone help. Her voice cracks into pure panic. He's not breathing. Grace stands, arms extended. Let me help. The senator's face contorts, terror mixed with disgust. Stay away from him. We need a real doctor, not some street rat playing nurse. 5 minutes later, that same senator would be sobbing, clutching the child she nearly lost, all because she couldn't see past a dirty hoodie. Senator Rebecca Williams boards the plane like she owns it. White blazer crisp enough to cut glass. Hair swept into a perfect blonde bun. Designer diaper bag over one shoulder, her 11-month-old son cradled in the other arm. The baby is already fussing, that pre-scream whimper that promises chaos. She doesn't look at the flight attendant who takes her bag. Doesn't acknowledge the man who steps aside to let her pass. She's practiced at moving through the world like everyone else is furniture. Row 3, first class, where I belong. But someone is already in 3B right next to her seat. A child, black, maybe 12, wearing an oversized grey hoodie that looks like it survived a house fire. The fabric is streaked with soot and grime. Her jeans are worse, stained with something dark and crusted at the knees. Her sneakers have holes. The senator stops in the aisle, stares. How did security miss this? The girl has a book open on her tray table. Some thick medical textbook that looks ridiculous in her small, dirt-smudged hands. She's completely absorbed, oblivious to the stares she's getting from the other passengers. Excuse me, the senator's voice is ice. I think you're in the wrong section. The girl looks up, her eyes are tired, old eyes in a young face. No, ma'am, this is my seat. Your seat, the senator's laugh is sharp. She shifts the baby who's starting to cry louder now. Sweetheart, I don't know who told you that, but first-class tickets cost more than... She stops herself, smiles tightly. More than most people make in a month, so why don't you gather your things and head back to economy where you belong? I have a ticket. The girl's voice stays level. She pulls a boarding pass from her hoodie pocket. The senator doesn't even look at it. Around them, the other first-class passengers are watching now. A man in a navy suit. A woman with pearls. All of them polished, pressed, respectable. All of them staring at the girl like she's tracked mud through a cathedral. I don't care what piece of paper you're waving around. The senator leans closer, keeping her voice just loud enough for the cabin to hear. I know exactly what's happening here. You found someone's boarding pass, or printed a fake one, and now you're trying to steal a seat that costs more than everything you're wearing combined. The baby is screaming now, full volume, his face is red, fists clenched. The girl closes her book carefully. Ma'am, I didn't steal anything, if you just... Flight attendant, the senator's voice rises over her son's wails. We have a situation here. This child needs to be removed immediately. I paid good money for these seats, and I will not sit next to someone who clearly doesn't belong among respectable people. The flight attendant appears within seconds. Young, blonde, perfectly pleasant smile already plastered on. Is there a problem here? Yes, there's a problem. The senator gestures at Grace like she's pointing out a spill. This girl is sitting in first class. She clearly doesn't have a legitimate ticket. I want her removed before we take off. The flight attendant's smile flickers. She looks at Grace, really looks at her, takes in the filthy hoodie, the stained jeans, the general air of someone who crawled out of a dumpster. Her eyes go flat with judgment. Miss, can I see your boarding pass? Grace hands it over without a word. Her hand is steady, but something in her chest is tightening. She's been through this before. Different settings, same script. The flight attendant scans the pass. Her eyebrows rise slightly. She scans it again. Well, the senator demands. Her baby is still screaming, red-faced and furious. Is it fake? No, ma'am, the ticket is valid. The words come out reluctant, confused. It's a full-price first-class fare. The senator's face goes rigid. That's impossible, look at her. The ticket is legitimate, the flight attendant repeats, but her tone says she doesn't believe it either. Perhaps there's been some kind of mistake. The only mistake, Grace says quietly, is assuming I don't belong here. The man in the navy suit across the aisle snorts. Come on, we all know what this is. Her parents probably scammed someone online, or she's some charity case flying on miles they shouldn't have. The woman with pearls nods. It's inappropriate. Children like that shouldn't be allowed up here without supervision. What if she steals something? Grace's fingers curl into her palm. She wants to scream that she's coming back from 3 days of volunteer work at a community clinic after a water main break. That she's exhausted and covered in grime because she spent 72 hours helping people her mother trained her to help. That her ticket was purchased legally with money her grandmother left her. But she's 12, and she's learned that explaining only makes it worse. Ma'am, the flight attendant says to the senator, voice softer now, sympathetic. I understand your concern, but the ticket is valid and we're about to push back from the gate. If you'd like, I can speak to the captain about. Forget it, the senator drops into seat 3A with a disgusted sigh. Just keep that child away from my son. If anything goes missing from my bag, I'm holding this airline responsible. She adjusts the baby in her lap, bouncing him roughly. He's still screaming, that high-pitched, relentless wail that makes everyone in the cabin wince. The flight attendant retreats. The other passengers settle into their seats, throwing occasional glances at Grace, judging, dismissing. Deciding she's guilty of something even if they can't prove what. Grace opens her book again, the words blur on the page. She tells herself she just has to make it home. The plane taxis down the runway, the baby screams louder. Grace tries to focus on her book. Chapter 7, Anaphylactic Shock in Infants. Recognition and Immediate Response Protocols. The irony isn't lost on her. She's reading about saving lives while the woman next to her acts like she's contaminated. The senator is losing it, bouncing the baby too hard, jostling him, trying a bottle he won't take. Her perfect composure is cracking with every shriek. This is your fault, she hisses at Grace without looking at her. He was fine before we sat down. You probably have fleas or lice or God knows what. He can sense it. Grace doesn't respond. Her grandmother taught her that silence is sometimes the only dignity you get to keep. The other passengers are getting agitated. The man in the navy suit has his hands over his ears. The woman with pearls keeps sighing dramatically, like the baby's distress is a personal insult. Can't you control that child? Someone calls from row 5. The senator's face flushes red. He's upset, he's sensitive to his environment. She shoots another glare at Grace, to unwanted elements in his space. The baby's screams reach a fever pitch, that shrill, desperate sound that feels like it's drilling into everyone's skull. His little face is scarlet, mouth wide open, fists flailing. And then, silence. Complete, sudden, absolute. The cabin seems to hold its breath. The senator looks down, relief flooding her face. Oh, thank God, he finally. She stops. Her son isn't sleeping. His eyes are half open, unfocused. His mouth is still open but no sound is coming out. His chest is moving in rapid, shallow spasms. And his lips. His lips are turning blue. Baby, the senator's voice goes high and thin. Baby, what's wrong? The blue is spreading, lips to gums. His face is losing colour, going from red to white to something greyish and wrong. Grace's book falls from her hands. She knows that colour, she's seen it in the clinic. She's read about it 50 times. She's been trained for exactly this. Ma'am, she starts. Something's wrong, the senator's scream cuts through the cabin. My baby isn't breathing. The baby's face is darkening now, blue-grey-violet. His tiny chest is barely moving. His eyes are rolling back. Help, somebody help. The senator is standing now, holding her son out like an offering, like she can will someone to fix him. He's dying. Oh God, he's dying. Passengers crane their necks. The flight attendant comes running down the aisle. Is there a doctor on board? She shouts. We need a doctor. Silence, no one moves, no one knows what to do. Grace stands, Her legs feel unsteady, but her voice is clear. Let me help her. The senator whips around. Her face is a mask of terror and tears and something else. Pure, venomous hatred. Don't you dare touch my son. Grace stands in the aisle, arms outstretched. The gesture is both an offer and a plea. I know what's wrong with him, I can help. The senator clutches her dying baby tighter. You. Her laugh is jagged, broken. You're a child, a dirty street child who probably hasn't even finished middle school. Ma'am, please. Get away from us. The senator's voice cracks into hysteria. We need a real doctor, not some ghetto kid playing dress up. The baby's face is turning deeper violet. His gasps are getting weaker. Seconds matter now, maybe 30 of them left before brain damage, maybe less. The flight attendant hovers uselessly. Miss, I'm sure you mean well, but... He's having an allergic reaction, Grace says louder now. Anaphylaxis, his airway is closing. If someone doesn't act in the next minute, he'll die. The words land like a slap. The cabin goes quiet except for the senator's sobbing. She's right, the man in the navy suit is standing now, staring at the baby with horror. Look at his face, that's not normal. Then you help him, the senator spins toward him. Anyone, just not her. He backs away, palms up. I don't know anything about medical stuff, I'm in finance. The woman with pearls is frozen in her seat. Everyone is frozen. Staring at the dying infant like he's a problem they can't solve, don't want to touch, wish would just disappear. Grace takes a step forward. I've been trained for this, I know what to do. Trained, the senator's eyes are wild. Where, in some back alley clinic, you're going to experiment on my son because you watched a YouTube video. The baby makes a sound, a tiny wet wheeze. His lips are almost black now. Grace's voice drops, gets harder. Your son is dying right now in your arms, and I am the only person on this plane who can save him. She meets the senator's eyes. So you have a choice. You can let me help or you can watch him die while you wait for someone who looks like they belong in first class. The senator's face twists. Terror, disgust, desperation, rage, all of it battling across her features while her son fades in her arms. Ma'am, the flight attendant's voice is shaking. If she knows something. She's 12, the senator screams. She's filthy, she's... The baby's wheezing stops. Complete silence from his tiny body. The senator looks down, sees her son going limp. And something breaks. Help him, the words come out strangled, desperate. Please, oh God, please help him. Grace is already moving. Put him on the floor, now, and someone get me the medical kit from the galley. She drops to her knees beside the baby. 500 eyes are watching her. She has one chance to get this right. The senator can't let go. Her hands are locked around her son's body even as Grace kneels beside them. Even as the flight attendant runs for the medical kit. Even as precious seconds tick away. Ma'am, I need him on the floor, Grace says. Her voice is steady, clinical, not a 12-year-old anymore, something else entirely. The senator's arms tighten, she's shaking so hard her teeth chatter. What if you hurt him? He's already hurt, I'm his only chance. But the senator can't do it. Can't hand her dying child to the girl she called filthy. To the kid she said didn't belong among respectable people. Everything in her is screaming that this is wrong, impossible, a nightmare. She looks around wildly. Someone else, please, anyone who's actually qualified. There is no one else. The man in the navy suit is on his feet now, voice sharp with panic. Lady, your kid is turning purple, let her try. The woman with pearls nods frantically. She said she knows what to do, just let her. But the senator is trapped in her own mind, in a lifetime of assumptions about who matters and who doesn't, about which hands are clean enough to touch her child. She's staring at Grace's dirt-stained fingers, her grimy hoodie, her unwashed face. What will people say? What if she makes it worse? What if I just handed my baby to some street kid and he dies? The baby's lips are black now, his chest isn't moving. Please, Grace whispers, and for the first time there's emotion in her voice, desperation. Please let me save him. The flight attendant arrives, medical kit clutched in shaking hands. Here I have, oh God, is he breathing? No, Grace holds out her hands, which is why I need him now. The senator looks at her son, really looks, at his closed eyes, his slack face, the color draining from him like water from a broken vessel. He looks dead already. And this child, this dirty, unwanted, supposedly worthless child, is holding out her hands with absolute certainty. Like she's done this before, like she knows exactly what happens next. The senator's choice collapses into a single, brutal truth: pride or her son, her prejudice or his life. She places the baby on the floor. Her hands are shaking so hard she almost drops him. Grace catches him, eases him down gently. The senator crawls backward, sobbing, watching through her fingers. "What's his name?" Grace asks, already opening the medical kit. "Ethan," the senator chokes out. "His name is Ethan." "Okay, Ethan." Grace's hands are moving fast, pulling supplies. "Stay with me." The senator watches those dirty hands touch her son's face. Watches them tilt his head back, check his airway. Watches them move with precision and confidence that shouldn't be possible. And she realizes too late exactly how wrong she's been. Grace's hands don't shake. Everyone is staring. The senator is sobbing. The flight attendant is hovering with useless panic. The entire first-class cabin has gone silent except for the hum of the engines and the ragged breathing of terrified adults. Grace blocks it all out. She's done this before, not on a plane, not with an audience, but she's done this. "Anaphylaxis," she says, voice clear and calm. "Severe allergic reaction. His airway is almost completely closed." She's checking his pulse, faint, racing, his breathing virtually non-existent. "What did he eat?" Grace asks, eyes still on the baby. "Nothing," the senator's voice is shrill. "Just his formula, same as always." "Different brand." The senator hesitates. "Yes, I forgot his usual one. I bought a new kind at the airport." Grace nods. "Soy allergy probably, or milk protein, doesn't matter which right now." She finds the epinephrine auto-injector in the medical kit. Her grandmother's voice echoes in her head. "Outer thigh, 90-degree angle, hold for 3 seconds. Don't hesitate." "What is that?" The senator crawls closer. "What are you giving him?" "Epinephrine, it'll open his airway." Grace positions the injector against the baby's tiny thigh. Her hand is steady, perfectly steady. She drives the needle in. Click, the mechanism activates. She counts 1, 2, 3. Removes it. Nothing happens. The baby lies still, violet-faced, silent. "Why isn't he breathing?" The senator's voice rises to a scream. "You said you could help HIM. Why isn't HE breathing?" "Give it time," Grace says, but her own heart is hammering now. Sometimes it takes 30 seconds, sometimes longer, sometimes. The baby gasps. It's wet and horrible, and the most beautiful sound Grace has ever heard. Another gasp, his chest heaves. His lips are still dark, but color is starting to seep back into his face. Gray to pale to pink. "Oh my God," the flight attendant has her hand over her mouth. "Oh my God, it's working." The baby coughs, sputters, his eyes flutter open. And then he screams. That same ear-splitting wail from before. But now it's perfect. It means air is moving. His lungs are working. He's alive. The senator snatches him up, clutching him to her chest. "Ethan, oh God, Ethan, baby." Grace sits back on her heels. Her whole body is shaking now, adrenaline crashing through her. She did it. He's breathing. He's going to be okay. Around her, the cabin erupts. "She saved him," someone whispers. "That kid just saved that baby's life." The man in the navy suit is staring at Grace like he's seeing her for the first time. "You're a doctor." "No," Grace says quietly, "I'm 12. The flight attendant kneels beside her. "Where did you learn to do that?" "My mother runs a community clinic. She trained me." Grace's voice is flat, exhausted. "The one for people who can't afford real doctors." The senator freezes, still holding her screaming, breathing, living son. Still covered in the shame of every word she said. The plane is still taxiing back to the gate. The captain's voice crackles over the intercom, something about a medical emergency and paramedics standing by. Grace barely hears it. She's back in her seat, 3B right where she started. Her hands are still shaking. She presses them flat against her jeans, feels the crusted dirt under her palms. 3 days of helping people. 3 days of her mother saying, "You're doing good work, baby. Important work." 3 days that left her looking like exactly what the senator called her. A street rat. Across the aisle, the senator holds Ethan. He's calmer now, hiccuping softly against her shoulder. His color is normal, his breathing steady. The epinephrine did its job. The senator hasn't looked at Grace once since she grabbed her son off the floor. The flight attendant appears with a bottle of water. "For you," she says to Grace, her voice is different now, soft, apologetic. "That was incredible, you saved his life." Grace takes the water, doesn't open it, just did what needed doing. Still, the flight attendant glances at the senator, then back to Grace, lowers her voice. "I'm sorry for before, for doubting you." Grace nods. She's heard apologies like this before, the kind that come after, never during. The man in the navy suit leans across the aisle. "Hey kid, that was something else, seriously, where'd you say you learned that?" "My mother's clinic." "Your mother's a doctor?" "Nurse practitioner, she runs a free clinic in South Memphis." Grace's voice is flat, "for people who can't afford better." The words land heavy, pointed. The man has the grace to look uncomfortable. The woman with pearls speaks up, her voice too bright, too loud. "Well, you must be so proud, a little hero." She's trying to erase what happened before, trying to rewrite her own judgment into something kinder. Grace doesn't help her, just looks out the window. The senator finally speaks. "Grace." It's the first time she's used her name. Grace turns slowly, waits. The senator's face is blotchy, mascara smudged. She looks smaller somehow, diminished. She stops, swallows hard. "Thank you for saving Ethan." "You're welcome." Silence. The senator wants something more, wants Grace to make this easier, to absolve her, to say it's okay. Grace doesn't. "I shouldn't have," the senator's voice cracks. "The things I said." "You meant them." Grace's voice is quiet but steady. "You looked at me and decided I was less than you, less than human. You were willing to let your baby die rather than let my dirty hands touch him." The senator flinches like she's been slapped. "But I helped him anyway," Grace continues. "Because that's what decent people do, they help, even when it's not deserved." The cabin is dead silent, everyone listening. The senator opens her mouth, closes it, tears spill down her cheeks. Grace turns back to the window. The plane stops at the gate. Grace doesn't find out about the video until she's home. She's in the shower, scrubbing 3 days of clinic grime off her skin when her phone starts exploding with notifications. Text after text, call after call, her mother knocking on the bathroom door. "Baby, you need to see this." The video is everywhere. Someone in first class recorded the whole thing, posted it before the plane even reached the gate. The caption reads, "Senator Rebecca Williams calls 12-year-old street rat, then begs her to save her baby's life." Grace watches herself stand in the aisle, watches the senator scream at her, watches her own small, dirty hands perform miracles while grown adults stood frozen. The comments are brutal. This is the same senator who voted against expanding Medicaid. She cut funding for free clinics last year, the exact clinics that train this girl. People like that don't fly first class, but they can save your kid's life, apparently. By morning, it's on every major news site. CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all of them. Someone dug up Senator Rebecca Williams's voting record, displayed it next to the video like evidence at a trial. 2023, voted no on the Child Healthcare Access Act. 2024, voted no on funding for community health workers. 2024, voted no on the Free Clinic Protection Bill. 2025, sponsored a bill to require proof of residency for emergency room care. The irony is inescapable, devastating. The senator who called a child filthy, who said people like Grace don't belong among respectable people, who fought to defund the very programs that saved her son's life. The think pieces write themselves. When privilege meets reality, a senator's reckoning. The girl she called trash saved her world. Senator Rebecca Williams's hypocrisy, caught on camera. Grace's phone rings, a reporter from the Washington Post, then NBC, then a dozen others. Her mother fields the calls, her voice getting tighter with each one. "My daughter is not doing interviews," she says firmly. "She's 12 years old. She did what she was raised to do, help people. That's the end of the story." But it's not the end. By day 2, there are protests outside Senator Williams's office. People holding signs, "Defund hate, not healthcare, and Grace knew better than you." By day 3, the senator releases a statement, It's careful, written by lawyers and PR people, full of words like regret and learning experience and heat of the moment. It mentions nothing about her voting record. Grace reads it once, deletes the screenshot. Her mother finds her in the kitchen, staring at her phone. "You okay, baby?" She still doesn't get it. Grace's voice is small. She's sorry she got caught, not sorry for what she believes. Her mother pulls her close. No, she doesn't get it, but the whole world sees her now, really sees her. Grace nods against her mother's shoulder. Sometimes that has to be enough. 3 weeks later, Grace is back at the clinic. It's Saturday morning. She's wearing scrubs this time, clean ones, and her hair is pulled back in a neat bun. She looks like what she always was, a kid who knows her way around a medical kit. The waiting room is packed, it's always packed. People who can't afford the emergency room, people without insurance, people the system forgot. Grace is taking vitals on an elderly man with a persistent cough when her mother calls her into the office. "There's someone here to see you." Senator Rebecca Williams stands in the hallway, no white blazer today, just jeans and a plain sweater. Her hair is down, she looks older, tired, human. Ethan is on her hip, pink-cheeked and healthy, gnawing on a teething ring. Grace stops, waits. "I'm sorry," the senator says, no preamble, no excuses. "For what I said, for what I believed, for what I've spent years voting for." Her voice cracks. "I was wrong about you, about this clinic, about everything." Grace crosses her arms. "Okay." The senator swallows hard. "I've been thinking about the bills I've blocked, the funding I've cut, the people I've hurt." She shifts Ethan to her other hip. "People like you, people who do the work I didn't think mattered." "It matters," Grace says quietly. "I know that now." The senator's eyes are red-rimmed. "I'm drafting a new bill, full funding restoration for community clinics. Healthcare access for underserved populations. It's not enough. It'll never be enough to undo the damage, but it's a start." Grace studies her, looking for the performance, the political calculation, the angle. She sees exhaustion instead, and something that might be genuine shame. "Why are you really here?" Grace asks. The senator looks down at Ethan. "Because he asks about you. He's too young to understand, but I tell him anyway, about the girl who saved him when his own mother was too full of hate to see clearly." Her voice breaks. "I'm here because I owed you the truth, face to face, no cameras, no statements." She reaches into her bag, pulls out an envelope. "This is a donation to the clinic. It's not charity, it's debt, for everything you've given me." Grace takes it, doesn't open it. "And this," the senator holds out a second envelope. "A scholarship fund, in your name, for kids from underserved communities who want to study medicine." She pauses. "Kids like you who deserve every opportunity I tried to take away." Grace's throat tightens. "I can't undo what I said on that plane," the senator whispers. "But I can spend the rest of my career proving I've learned from it." Ethan reaches toward Grace. She takes his tiny hand. He grins, drool-covered and perfect. "Okay," Grace says finally, "show me." The senator nods. "I will." And for the first time, Grace believes her.